When the Miyoo Mini came into the market with its swanky OS, everybody was flattered by this device, and rightly so. It did what other devices couldn't. Yes, they all played retro games, but the OS on the Miyoo Mini was far more superior and easy to navigate. Plus, the pricing on the Miyoo Mini was too good, and pretty much everyone who is a handheld enthusiast tried to get it. But things are different now. These days, Anbernic releases 24 different handhelds every year, and they've flooded the market with so many choices of handhelds that do the same thing. A new release of a handheld announcement doesn't raise any sort of anticipation. However, when it's from Miyoo, it's different. This maker has won the hearts of many people, and it looks like with two of its upcoming handhelds, it's going to stir some excitement in the budget handheld space. The first one, Miyoo Flip, for which we did an amazing video a couple of days back. You can watch it on our channel. I have also dropped the link for it in the description. And now, the Miyoo A30, that's targeting to look exactly like the Nintendo Game & Watch handheld. You might say, what the heck is Game & Watch? And that's fair enough. It was a pretty popular product in Japan and the US, but was not so popular in other international locations. In the early 1980s, Nintendo's Game & Watch line, created by Gunpei Yokoi, the brain behind the iconic Game Boy, these single-game devices were marvels of simplicity. Featuring an LCD screen and a directional pad, titles like Ball and Donkey Kong offered addictive gameplay with a charming, almost watch-like aesthetic. But the genius was in more than just the games. The Game & Watch introduced features we take for granted today. A digital clock and a power-efficient design that ensured hours of fun. You might feel like what's so rad about having a damn watch on a screen, but remember, we are talking about the early 1980s. Over 43 million units sold worldwide solidified the Game & Watch's place as the grandfather of modern handheld gaming, paving the way for juggernauts like the Game Boy and beyond. Though production ceased in 1991, the Game & Watch's legacy lives on, and I think that's the reason Miyoo is trying to bank on the nostalgia factor. It's just a bit obscure for people who are not in the US or Japan. Under the hood, specifics remain under wraps, but educated guesses suggest similar performance to the Miyoo Mini, which can handle most Game Boy Advance and PlayStation 1 titles. This is going to be the Miyoo horizontal device. This could be their answer to Anbernic's 35XXH, which is also a pretty popular handheld. A 2.8-inch IPS screen provides the visuals, while a 1200 mAh battery promises around 4 hours of playtime. For controls, the A30 steps up from its predecessor with the inclusion of a joystick alongside the D-pad, XYBA buttons, and 2 shoulder buttons. Charging is handled through a modern USB Type-C port, and the device is expected to run on a Linux operating system. The most anticipated feature might be the game library. While details are still emerging, speculation points to emulation capabilities for various retro consoles, including the Game Boy Advance and possibly the PlayStation 1. I don't think it's going to be any groundbreaking new tech in the emulation space, but it will be a good item to have in your pocket if you haven't bought any handheld in this range, or if you are a collector, because if you look at the pictures, these are looking too sleek along with their retro Game & Watch design. It has been confirmed that this device will be releasing in April, before the Miyoo Flip, and I am pretty sure the pricing on this is going to be super aggressive. I am expecting a sub 80 USD price on this one. Let's see how it performs once this device is out for delivery. Right now, for all sorts of handhelds that can play up to PlayStation 1, the market is too jam-packed, and there is literally no room to wiggle into. Every week, there's a rebranded, similar-looking clone of an already existing budget handheld being announced from China. And now, these companies are going to fight over prices because of the competition. We will see prices going down for these budget handhelds even more. Last week, one of the nicest budget handhelds was being sold on a website for less than 47 USD with free shipping. Can you imagine? Competition is always good for the consumer. It always helps in getting good quality products at cheaper prices. As this below and up to PlayStation 1 handheld space will be a discount bloodbath in 6 months from now, these Chinese companies will focus on making PlayStation 2 playable consoles within or close to the 100 USD range. But even that front is pretty much bottlenecked by not having a good Android-based PS2 emulator. Ether SX2 is completely out of the game and Play Store after the Nintendo Massacre, and the one they have right now, NetherSX2, is a copy of Ether SX2, but it's still in a very nascent stage. However, I am happy to see that this emulator is getting regular updates, not fast updates, but regular, which is what we need right now. We will see how things pan out in the emulation space once the dust settles. That's all we have for today's episode, fellas. Do drop a sub if you liked what you see here. Catch you guys soon in my next video. Take care and be safe.
Gee, a big hole.